make things. We use our hands, minds, and machines to build, to fix, to improve. We're known as do-it-yourselfers, home improvement fans, fix-it fanatics, inventors. At our core, though, we're all makers. So let's jump in and make something. Hi, I'm Ron Hazelton. Welcome to the show. Being comfortable indoors during hot weather requires more than just lowering the temperature. It also means lowering humidity. Now, an air conditioner does this job to some extent, but in certain circumstances, the air in our homes can still feel damp and sticky, even though it's cool. What's the cure? Well, perhaps a whole house dehumidifier. Got a favorite ceramic piece that's broken? About to throw it away? Hey, hold on. I'm about to show you how to bring it back to life. We wrap up things today with a discussion of the birds and bees. Well, at least the bees. Well, summer's just around the corner, so I've been cleaning my air conditioning filters. And that got me to thinking that there were some times last season when the air conditioning seemed to be working okay, but the air inside the house just wasn't all that comfortable. So I've decided to call in an expert to check things out. He should be here any minute. How you doing?
Hi, I'm Bill Vallis with Encon.
Hey, Bill. Ron, come on in.
Nice to meet you.
Beautiful morning, eh?
Very nice.
Let me show you what's going on here.
Okay.
Okay, Bill, well, here's my air handler.
Okay.
Now, you know, on really hot days, works fine. The whole air conditioning system seems to be fine. But it's those days when it's not quite so hot, 70, 72, the temperature's okay, but the humidity, it feels really sticky in the house.
Yeah, to be comfortable, you really have to control the humidity as well as the temperature.
Isn't that what an air conditioner does, though?
The air conditioning will do a good job with controlling the temperature, but not always the humidity on the days that you're talking about in the 70s. It's not running long enough to really drain the moisture out of the air.
So there's nothing wrong with my air conditioner then?
Not necessarily.
So what do I do with this? Just live with it?
Well, you can add a dehumidifier that will dehumidify the whole house on the days when the air conditioning is not running long enough to drain the moisture out.
The whole house dehumidifier Bill's suggesting will attach to my existing air conditioning system. A portion of the recirculated return air is diverted and drawn through the dehumidifier where moisture is removed. This dry air then rejoins the main stream of air moving through the air conditioning system, lowering the overall humidity. I've decided to go ahead with the installation, so Bill sends one of his crews over and they go right to work. In their shop, they fabricated a metal stand, which they place in position. Despite its rather modest size, this unit will control humidity in the entire house. Bob and Joe set it on top of the stand. Next, a plastic hose is attached to carry away the water that will be extracted from the air. The hose, in turn, is connected to a run of PVC pipe that will discharge the water into a basement drain. Several sections of sheet metal air duct have been pre-made in the shop. These slip together and are held in place with screws. Some ductwork is made up on site from flat sections that are first cut to length, then rolled into a cylinder and snapped together. A crimper puts a series of indentations in one end that will effectively reduce the diameter so that one section of duct can be inserted into another. The dehumidifier loop has to channel humid air from the air conditioning system and then return drier air to it. That means cutting into the existing air conditioning ductwork.
Now, there's no question in my mind sheet metal work is an art, but it's also important to have the right tools. For example, the right snips. Now, here are 3 pair that look the same, but they have distinctly different purposes.
This pair is intended for making straight cuts. Right-hand curves call for these snips. The handles are often green. And finally, for cutting left curves, you'll want these. Their handles are sometimes red. The right and left curve cutting snips will also cut straight. Now the point is, when it comes to cutting sheet metal, not all snips are created equal. The duct is inserted into the hole and held in place by bending the metal tabs on the inside. Some longer sections of ductwork are supported with metal bands attached to the ceiling joists. Wow, what a beautiful installation. You know, this is like sculpture to me.
Yeah. Bob and Joe did a great job. Came out nice.
Now I want to ask you a couple questions.
Sure.
You're saying that this unit will keep the humidity level in the entire house, including the basement, at a comfortable level.
That's right.
Okay. If I were instead to use portable units, like the one I had here in the basement, how many would it take to do this house?
At least 2 or 3.
And would it cost more or less to operate the 2 or 3 portable units than this one?
It costs less to operate this, to remove the same amount of moisture as several portable units.
Also, I know that if I use these, I've got to take the water out and empty these about once a day. So
That's right.
I've done this.
Right. This
now,
has an automatic drain.
so the water comes out here
That's correct.
and goes into the drain in the basement.
That's right.
What about sound? We haven't turned this on yet.
These are very quiet.
Turn on. Wow, it's quiet. And we're standing right here next to it. I mean, I'm not going to hear this at all in the rest of the house.
That's right.
Do most people use these? I mean, what do you get? What's the call for these? I mean, when people call you up, what are they looking for in terms of a solution?
These are a central dehumidifier that can be used for several different applications. The most common is for a finished basement, where you don't need air conditioning to control the temperature because it stays cool in a basement, but you need to drain the moisture out of the air. So we can put this in an unfinished space or an unfinished portion of the basement or a storage room, and the air can be ducted in to dehumidify the finished basement.
Now, 2/3 of this basement over there is finished. You're saying that this will do just as good a job of keeping the humidity level down here as the portable did?
That's right.
And will, in addition to that, do the entire house?
That's correct.
Hey, thank you, Bill. I really appreciate it. This has been very interesting, and I can't wait for the hot, humid weather to get here.
Great. Well,
and
thank you.
try this out. Now, when it comes to getting really great results in home improvement projects, I honestly believe it's important to use the best tools you can afford. And that's true for paintbrushes. It used to be that brushes fell into one of 2 categories: natural bristle for oil-based paints and nylon for latex or water-based paints. Nowadays, though, the nylon polyester blend can cover everything. A good quality brush should have plenty of densely packed bristles that are straight, evenly trimmed at the end, and securely fastened into the ferrule to eliminate shedding. The standard or square end brush is used for applying paint to a flat surface. Now, if you've got a small job to do and you don't want to bother cleaning your brushes, you might consider these disposable versions. All you do is paint and pitch. Now this is our family's favorite cookie jar, a personalized New York taxi. Only problem is the top was dropped a while ago and there's a pretty big hunk missing right here. Now I have some of the parts but not all of them, so this is more than a simple glue back. It's one method I use for repairing ceramic. Now, one of the biggest challenges I'll face in repairing an odd shape like this is keeping it in the right position while I work on it. So here's a little trick that I use. This is just a bucket of sand. And if I take the top and kind of embed it in here like this, I can pretty much let go of it and keep it in any position I want. I find this dual syringe very handy for dispensing equal parts of epoxy and hardener. Now, thorough mixing is important, but so is time. I've only got about 3 to 4 minutes to work with this adhesive. Because these pieces are so small, a pair of self-gripping tweezers works better than my fingers. I've glued back all of the pieces that I have, but you can see that there's still quite a bit of material missing here. So I'm going to have to replace that. Out in my truck, I've got the perfect solution, an all-purpose polyester resin filler. It's quick setting, easy to shape, and will stick to just about anything. Each can comes with a tube of hardener. All I have to do is mix the two together.
Now the more hardener I put in the resin, the faster it will set up. I put quite a bit in here, so I probably only got about 2 minutes to work with this.
What I want to do here is fill the cavity completely. In fact, a little overfilling is a good idea. When the material has reached a rubbery state, it's time to start shaping. I take off some of the excess by first paring it away with a sharp knife. I begin shaping the contours using a rasp. Then I wrap sandpaper around a dowel and start removing the tool marks and blending in the filler. After that, I switch to a very fine paper for a final smoothing.
Well, I'd say that takes care of filling in that missing material. Now the only step that's left is to match the color. And to do that, I'm going to use these materials. These are artist acrylic colors. And I'll start with white.
I thin the acrylics with water to make them brush out more smoothly. These paints can be intermixed with each other to create precisely the right color for a near-perfect match. In this case, a little white and red gives me just the pink I'm looking for. The red stripes on the hat require less white. And the flesh tone for the hand is blended from white, red, and yellow.
I'd say the color is just about where I want it. Now there's just one step left.
A clear spray acrylic seals in the colors and adds gloss, making this repair practically undetectable.
With all the traffic that this taxi gets, it's probably only a matter of time until there's another accident. But with this process, I can put this cookie cab back on the road in a New York minute.
It wasn't too long ago we moved from the city to the country. Now when slickers like us trade sidewalks for sod, there's bound to be a learning curve. In our case, it's been rather steep at times.
There's a hornet's nest right here.
Come here.
I'm not going out. There's a hornet's nest.
I want to show you where it is.
No, I'm allergic to bees. If I get stuck, you're going to have to rush me
in the
to
distance.
the hospital, and I'm allergic and I'm pregnant.
You don't have to come out. Just stick your head out. Look to your left.
I know there's going to be something
See the
there.
post? Look between the post and the house.
Ah! Oh my God! There's a hive! Ah, they're coming!
First it's the porch, now they're moving right inside the house. What are they, going up under the eaves?
What are they, wasps? Yellow jackets?
I think they're hornets.
Oh my God.
Man, look at them.
Oh my God. That is
They go right up
disgusting.
inside the house.
I don't even really need
Take a
to see
peek.
it. No, I really,
Seriously.
honestly, it's disgusting.
Well,
How do we get rid of
well,
them?
I think if I want to put a ladder up to the lower.
No. This is not an issue
Listen,
where you deal with it.
I have a can.
You have a can. You nuts? Are
No,
you nuts? Guess what? You run, they fly. It's not a good combination. No, we call an exterminator.
Okay, you call him out here. I'm telling you, he's going to say to you,
He's gonna say,
I could have done it with my
he's
spray
gonna
can.
say if your husband does it, he's
All right,
nuts.
go call it.
All right, I'm calling.
Kenny?
Ron?
Yes.
Kenny from the Guaranteed Pest Control Company.
Bug killer, right?
Thank God.
The Terminator here.
The Terminator.
Hey, Kenny, I'm Lynn. Nice
to meet you, Lynn,
Carrying
too.
a shotgun here or what?
Well, actually, facsimile thereof. It will do the trick.
But I said to Lynn, I could put a ladder up here to that gutter,
Okay?
get up here that says I can be 15 feet away,
Okay?
hit the suckers, right?
Okay?
Get down off the ladder and run if I have to.
Okay?
She says that that's not a good idea.
I
That's
think you
why
should
you're
film
here.
it.
2 words, brave and stupid.
You know something? In a void area nest, such as this, where it's either inside of the fascia or behind a wall, and they have like several entrance areas.
Yeah.
That, which is probably mostly a pyrethrin, which is a quick kill, which is the same as going like that. It will definitely kill.
Told you.
Why did you tell me that?
He's just saying it. He's confirming it. It'll kill him.
It will take care of any of the perpetrators around your house and make an unconducive.
Perpetrators.
They're perpetrators.
I like that.
They're perpetrators.
He shows up with a shotgun after perpetrators with wings.
I say go to work.
Can we watch you do this?
Absolutely. I'm going to go right
We
to
have to
work.
stand out of the way here.
The only thing we have going against us in a situation or scenario like this is that we can't really see the entrance point, but we know that there's several of them up there, so I treated several of the what I would call openings, and I put enough of the ficam dust, the bendiocarb dust, in the proper area where they'll pick it up and they'll track it around. That nest inside that wall there might be about 2 or 3 feet long. It's a technical situation, whereas it has to be done right, or else it could be dangerous, or you could be wasting your time. And if you don't know if you're allergic or not, you know, the results of being stung can be very devastating.
Can I just take a walk around the house myself? If I see any other hornets sort of just swarming like that, I know I got a problem.
You know you have
I
a
know
problem.
I have a nest out in the back too.
Absolutely. We can take care of that too.
There's one small nest right there on that post. You see it?
That's a different type of wasp. That's a Pallista's wasp.
Could I do those with just this can?
A lot of times this will kill the adults, but it won't take care of the eggs.
What happens if I spray them right now?
Well, I'm sure that you'll kill those that are right on the nest without a doubt.
Are they going to come after me?
Well, I'm going to back off.
They look pretty bad. They're dropping. They're dropping like flies.
Ron, I love the yellow jacket segment, but I think we should learn a little bit about them.
They're nasty insects.
They're aggressive.
I got stung the other day on the wrist, like 8 hours. Still hurt.
Yeah, they can sting you more than once too, because they're not in the bee family, which a lot of people think they are.
Their stinger doesn't fall off?
It doesn't fall off, so they can sting you multiple times, and they can bite you.
Well, we're not dealing with your average bee here.
No, they're much nastier.
All right, go ahead, have a laugh, but I'm dressed for battle, and if you're going to tackle these guys, you probably ought to do this too. That means protective clothing, long sleeves, gloves, and you know what I'm really worried about? Those guys coming up behind me, getting inside my collar and going down inside my shirt. So I think a towel over your head with a clamp like this, that's not a bad idea. And to keep them out of my face, this face mask from the shop. Just put it on like this. Now, these will go up to 15 or 20 feet, so stand well back. And it's probably best to attack a nest at dusk or at dark when they're less active, and never try to do one inside. Okay, you guys, take that. You know, a bar of iron costs $5. Made into horseshoes, it's worth $12. Made into needles, it's worth $3,500. And made into balance springs for watches, well, it's worth $300,000. Your own value is determined also by what you're able to make of yourself. Now, nobody's quite sure who said that, but it sure is worth thinking about.
To view today's projects again, visit ronhazelton.com, where you'll find hundreds of how-to videos available 24/7.